Good afternoon. My name is Keiada Holmes, and I am currently a 5th grade social studies teacher in Lamar, South Carolina. I am also a 2016 Corps member of South Carolina Teach for America Corps as well. This is my interview, and question number 1 says, many career possibilities are available to you. Why do you originally enter the field of education? Why do you now want to lead others in a school? Well, upon graduation, I graduated from Winston-Salem State University in Winston-Salem, North Carolina as a mass communications major, and I minored in speech and dramatic arts. Now, the wonderful thing about Teach for America is they accept so many people from diverse backgrounds, and they have that trust and understanding that you have a passion for children and you have a passion for your classroom. Teaching was something that always came natural to me. It was one of those things or one of those gifts that I try to run from, but I wasn't able to do stuff like that. In any position or any state that I was in, I often find myself teaching others and always finding a teachable moment in every situation. So when I was thrown into the field of education, I felt at home. I love teaching, and I love the fact that Teach for America trusts that although I did not receive that background information or education from the beginning, they know that within me and within people within my corps and corps before me and even after, you are cultivating leaders, that this is a passion and something that you want to do. Although this wasn't your first choice, there was an instinct, there was a gift inside of you that kept spinning, and you wanted greater, not just for yourself, but children for years to come. And the reason why I want to lead others within a school, because growing up, I did not identify with teachers that looked like me. Now, I am fortunate enough to teach in a district that I grew up in. Although I don't teach in the same school or in the same city, it is within the same district. I went to an elementary school and I stay in a city that is predominantly white. However, within my school, there were not a lot of teachers that looked like me. And even the teachers that looked like me, I couldn't identify with them. I think a lot of teachers now receive a preconceived notion that although we look like the students that we teach, we automatically can make that connection to them. And that is not necessarily so. I often found myself in the classroom feeling inferior because of the color of my skin. I often had teachers that looked like me that didn't believe in me. So my main purpose in going in the classroom was to ensure not only students that look like me, but all students. Make sure that they understand that there is something special inside of you. I wanted to make it my priority that all students have the ability to understand that everybody has something different. Everybody has unique talents, unique traits, unique skills, but it takes that one teacher to believe in them and to push them to their goals. So that's what really got me into teaching, and every day it is a new passion. I'm finding out new things, not just about my students, but about myself as well. And teaching is just one of those things that you're constantly growing. You're constantly evolving. There's always opportunities to learn. You can just never, ever get enough. Number 2 says, take some time reading and reflecting on TFA's commitment to DEI and the DEI guiding questions. What do these 2 documents make you think about or wonder? How do these ideas align or misalign with your experience in education so far? Well, in going over both of those statements, there were 2 things in particular that stuck out to me. The first one is equity and inclusiveness. In equity, it says, removing the predictability of success or failure that is associated with social or cultural factors used to marginalize or oppress individuals or groups. That is so common in education today. And one thing that I love about TFA, we are trying to get away from the norms or the status quos, but there are so many teachers and so many adults and so many professionals that have these preconceived notions, and they debate and create these unconscious knowings and ideas and views on students. They often have a set social group that they think cannot succeed. And within my classroom, what I try to implement is classroom expectations. My students know that my expectations for one is the expectations for all. And believe it or not, students understand and they know when you believe in them. They know when you don't believe in them. They know when you're going to expect the minimum, and they know when you are going to push them to their potential. And my goal every day is to reach my students to their full potential. And helping your students reach their full potential says a lot about you as a teacher as well. I think it's very important as teachers that we get out of the box and we think outside of the box. The amazing thing about teaching children from diverse backgrounds is that you constantly have to be on your feet. And as teachers as well, we have to step out of the box, and just because something worked last year for our students doesn't mean it will work this year. That innovative approach to learning is what all students need. When students know that you care and understand that you care, they are more amped to work for you. You will be able to see those goals. You will be able to see them reach their goals. And when you give them measurable, timely goals and you apply them in their accomplishments and you sit them down and you let them map out their goals, see where they are, see where they need to go, and you even acknowledge growth, even if it's by one step, you will notice the changes that your students make. And within my classroom, I let my students know that data drives instruction, not just for me as a teacher, but for you as well. And we have to make sure as instructors that we aren't just highlighting our gifted students, that all students are receiving the ample opportunity to grow, to achieve, and to learn more. When it comes to inclusiveness, it says valuing the perspectives and contributions of all people and ensuring a safe and affirmative and responsive environment. Now, I truly take pride in my classroom environment. I think that's one of my strengths as a classroom teacher. Every day, I make sure my students understand that our classroom is a safe place. There is no big I and there is no little you. Every day my students stand up and they repeat something. And it's our classroom expectations. And they repeat this. I am bright. There is nothing I cannot do. Yesterday is behind me. Tomorrow is to come. No excuses. I am a leader. No excuses. I won't give up. No excuses. I will stay focused. No, I am not perfect and neither are you. And even if I fail, working hard, I must do. Now, every single day, my students know because it's routine. As soon as you walk in and we do morning work, we review that morning work. The first thing we do is recite our expectations. Setting that norm within my classrooms lets students know that everybody has a working point. And even though my goal may be different from yours, we all have that same outlook. And it's success. And we should let students know success for all of us has the same definition. Now, our path to success might differ. You might beat and you might go to the own beat of your drum. But guess what? We must rejoice in their differences. The second part of that question says, how do these ideas align or misalign with your experience in education so far? Well, as a classroom teacher, I have noticed it misaligned with my experience a lot. Upon my first year teaching, I received a lot of advice, so to say, from veteran teachers. And they told me a lot of things about some students that I would witness within my classroom. There were a lot of things that were brought to me that were supposed to change my outlook on my students. Now, whether it was an acronym, whether it was numbers, whether it was letters, such as 504, such as IEP, or even GT. I did not let those things that people told me get into my mind and frame my mindset of my students before I had the opportunity to mold them into critical thinkers and problem solvers. And I think that's the biggest problem that we have in education. We allow these barriers to keep us from reaching our children and reaching them and helping them achieve their greatest potential. Now, I think that's where innovative approach to learning comes. As teachers, we must learn to navigate across those barriers. We must learn to keep out the naysayers and only fill our minds with positive thoughts about our students. Because when we begin to fill our minds with lower expectations and boundaries, those same vibes come off to our students. Question 3 says, if I could talk to your current principal, the janitor at your school, a colleague in your department, and a student's parent or family member and ask them to describe you in one word, what would those words be? Why do you think those people would choose those words? Now, a lot of people tell me that I am an old soul. My grandmother, her words often come to mind when I was little and even now. She told me a long time ago, Keiada, when you get a job, make sure that you treat that janitor with the same respect that you would treat a boss. Because you never know who you may be in the hallway with or even in the elevator. And those words have worked wonders and have opened so many doors for me to this day. If you speak to my janitor, I am pretty sure she would describe me as consistent. I remember my first day at the school when I was just coming in and meeting everybody. She said, "You friendly for a little girl." And that tickled me, and I told her, you know what, I get that a lot. And I thought it was just because I like to talk. But I have noticed since I've been at this school, people have often said that I was consistent. Whether I'm having a good day, whether I'm having a bad day, you still get that bubbly, you still get that funny, you get that energetic Miss Holmes. And I think that's the person that we should always give people. The way that we feel on the outside doesn't always exude how we feel on the inside. However, we are in a profession where children are depending on us. Not only children, but people that we work with as well. My janitor often comes around and just to give me a hug. She'll say, "Girl, oh, give me some of that energy." And I take pride in that because there is nothing else that I want to exude from my body but positive vibes that I can implement and throw off to those people that are surrounded by me every single day. Now, if you could talk to my principal and she could describe me in one word, I think she would say hardworking. She often tells me to slow down because I intend to do a lot. And I love my babies. I genuinely love my students. And I will go the extra mile to make sure that my students receive the education that they deserve. I have witnessed teachers not believe in them. I have witnessed teachers say that they couldn't, and when they come into my classroom and they achieve one goal, I make a big deal out of it because it's that serious. And when you see students that have been told that they couldn't do something, achieve a goal, that is a feeling that is unmatched. And in the world of education, there are no amount of awards that you could be given that could even equal up or amount to a child feeling accomplished and to a child who's constantly feel like they've been defeated, to understand that they are important. And my principal often applauds me, but she tells me, you need to give yourself a break. Your students know that you love them. They know that you're working hard, but I fight hard for them because I want everybody to understand. And I think that's the crazy thing about TFA. We want to change the whole world. And within my 2 years of being in this court, I have developed that love that I want everybody to understand that all children can achieve goals. If a colleague in my department could say anything about me, they would describe me as being dependable. Definitely as being dependable. Whether it's morning duty, whether it's running copies, whether it's integrating something within your classroom into my classroom, I'm always there for support. Simply because I'm going to need somebody to help me one day. And when I need that help, I know you're going to remember what I did for you and that it was genuine and that love is reciprocal. If a parent or family member could describe me in one word, I think they would say motherly. I often baby my children. I baby them. They're my babies. I teach 5th grade and I love on my babies all day long. Now, when they're wrong, they know I'm going to discipline like a parent. And I'm going to love you the same. But those are my babies. I love them. There's nothing I wouldn't do for them. I'll spoil them. And I often find myself at the end of the year when they transition on to middle school shedding a few tears as well. I'm that type of teacher that gets attached to my children. But I thank you for this opportunity to even apply for the Rural Leadership Academy. I'm thankful to the person who nominated me because based on that nomination, I was able to research and dissect what this academy was all about. And if allotted the opportunity to attend and to participate in this wonderful opportunity, I promise to give it full devotion. I promise to give it all of me, all of those skills that people could describe me as hardworking, as encouraging, as a team player. I promise to bring those to the table as well. I am interested in learning more, and I am always willing to learn and grow more as an educator and as a teacher. Thank you.